Welcome to the Information Systems for Business podcast. The main purpose of this podcast is to augment the book Information Systems for Business: An Experiential Approach by Frans Belanger, Craig Van Slyke, that's me, and Rob Crossler. The book is published by Prospect Press. I'm your host, Craig Van Slyke. Before we get started, I wanted to give a few disclaimers. First, the podcast purposely omits many details that are in the book to get to the high points of each chapter. So listening to the podcast is not a substitute for reading the book. Second, each episode contains my view of the most important points of each chapter. Your professor may have a different view. And then finally, the podcast is solely my responsibility, so any errors are on me, not my co-authors, your professors, Prospect Press, or my employer. On to Chapter 1. So in this episode, we're going to hit the high points of Chapter 1, which covers the value of information. Chapter 1's focusing story tells a true story of a long time ago, in which I should have done more research before going on a job interview. The long and short of the story is I got a job offer on the spot, and I hadn't really done my homework, so I didn't know what salary I should be expecting, and I took the first salary offer that the employer made. And it turns out I left about, 20% or so of the annual salary on the table. So I paid for that for a while. And that was, trust me, that was many years ago. And I still remember the lesson I learned the hard way. Information is critical to decision making. And so having good, reliable, accurate information can help you make better decisions. The main purpose of this chapter is to drive home the importance of information. The whole point of studying information systems is to help us, individuals and organizations, better use information. Information systems are just systems that help us deal with information, and information technology is technology that helps us deal with information. Now, these aren't technical definitions, so don't put them on exams, but they're accurate. The whole point of these things is to help us deal with information. And we deal with a ton of information every day. It just comes at us almost constantly. Fortunately, we have technologies and systems that help us handle the information and make use of that information. So it just stands to reason that improving your understanding of information systems will help you better manage and utilize information, which is an important skill now and is going to be for, as far as we can see into the future. After the focusing story, the chapter starts out with an overview of some important emerging technologies, 5G, the Internet of Things, and artificial intelligence. Individually, these technologies are already affecting you, whether you realize it or not. But in the future, as these and other technologies improve and become better integrated, they will literally, and I mean literally, not figuratively literally, change life as we know it. We're already seeing that now. And so all that being said, the reason that these technologies are so important is based on their ability to gather, transmit, and process information. The technologies are only important because of their connection to information. The chapter goes on to discuss the DIKW hierarchy. DIK stands for data, information, knowledge, and wisdom. Data consists of raw symbols or facts. Information is data that's been processed so that it's useful. And then when we take that information and apply it to a decision or action, we create knowledge. Wisdom is the use of knowledge for the greater good. One reason that it's important to understand this hierarchy is that it loosely describes how information systems have progressed. Back when I was sitting where you are now, we didn't talk so much about information systems. We talked about data processing. Then later we've gone into information systems, and then now more recently, knowledge management systems. The next point of the chapter is to discuss information literacy. Because of the importance of information, it's important to be information literate. Information illiteracy is just the ability to figure out what information you need, then go out and get it, evaluate it, and use that information for whatever task or decision you're facing. The final two sections of the chapter cover how businesses use information and how information affects your career. So now let's cover the really important points that are made in Chapter 1. So first, information is critical both personally and professionally. Much of what you do every day revolves around information, whether it's checking for text messages, taking a quick peek at Instabook, Gram, Face, whatever you all use these days, or enjoying a lecture. All of those are about you finding information or gathering information. So whether you realize it or not, you're dealing with information all the time. Information is central to your life. And that's not anything new, really. That's been going on forever. Emerging technologies such as 5G, the Internet of Things, and artificial intelligence are important because of how they help us deal with information. When used together, these technologies are enabling really cool applications such as automated vehicles and augmented reality. Because information is so important, information literacy is a critical skill. So those who are better skilled at finding, evaluating, analyzing, managing, and communicating information have a competitive advantage over those who are not similarly skilled. So this is really important stuff. And then businesses, regardless of their size, use information for three main purposes. First, to communicate. Second, to support processes. And finally, to make decisions. Quickly, a business process is just a set of coordinated activities that lead to a specific goal or outcome. We cover that more in Chapter 11. So here are just a few things to remember as I close out this episode. Information affects you far more than you probably realize. It's the center of much of modern life. That's why so many of us can't seem to survive without our phones. This isn't going to change, even if we have a zombie apocalypse. I don't know about you, but I want to know where the zombies are going to attack next. That's information. And since information is so critical, it's important and worthwhile to become literate in dealing with information and to understand more about the systems and technologies that help you deal with information. Finally, it doesn't really matter what you do with your professional life. You're going to be dealing with information systems and technology. So it's worthwhile to understand them. All right, that's it for Chapter 1. Remember, you still need to read the chapter since the book has much more detail. Fortunately, we, that's the co-authors and I, really did work very hard to keep the chapters short and to the point, so the reading shouldn't be too bad. Talk to you next time. Thank you.